It is raining in Disneyland Paris, but can you still have a magical time? Yes, the answer is yes. Let's see how. So yes, I am currently standing in front of the Disneyland Park on a very rainy day here in Chessy, which is where Disneyland Paris is located. And I want to show you things that you can do when it rains. I mean, honestly, if you're prepared, if you've got your, outfits, your ponchos, etc., your hood, your waterproof coat, then you can just go about as normal and still have an amazing time. In fact, ride times normally go a little bit lower when it rains, but there are also things indoors that you can do, which is what I'm going to focus on in this video. So let's head in. Firstly, can we appreciate the beautiful Main Street station over here? Look at that, there's Joy. The train's just going past as well. This is all for the Symphony of Color season, which has recently launched here in Disneyland Paris. I honestly love what they've done with this season. It's basically meant to bring color into the winter, slightly colder, wetter, like today, months of the year here in Disneyland Paris, and it's made a big change, it really has, but even without that, there's still a lot of fun to be had. Yeah. So firstly, as beautiful as Town Square looks, and Main Street USA, of course, you can see the castle all the way at the end of Main Street, and you've got the beautiful gazebo and the lovely decorations they've put up for this season as well. But you have options, whilst obviously nothing really beats walking down Main Street USA and walking towards the castle on a lovely sunnier day perhaps when it's not raining. But if it's raining and if you want to stay covered, then one good thing about Disneyland Paris, and it's the only castle park worldwide that actually has these arcades, is that it does have two arcades literally across Main Street USA on each side of it. I'm currently standing in front of the Liberty Arcade. On the other side of Main Street you'll find Discovery Arcade, and that's obviously because it's closer to Discovery Land. This one is going to be closer to Adventureland and Frontierland, but it just means that you can walk the same route, literally go towards the same direction, but be covered. And the arcades are actually nice as well, so let's go. There you go, I'm just heading into the Liberty Arcade over here. And currently, because it's raining, actually the arcades are a little bit busier than Main Street USA, because a lot of people do choose to use them rather than be outdoors. They've put a wet sign over here as well, so definitely be careful if it is raining, because the floors, especially in the arcades when it's indoors, can be quite slippery. One cool thing about both of the arcades in Disneyland Paris is that they actually also have access to most of the shops in Disneyland Paris on Main Street, so if you want to shop around a little bit whilst it's raining, then you can also do that coming from the arcades. I will say though that when it rains, especially when it suddenly rains, a lot of people's first instinct is to just go wherever they find first that has cover, and oftentimes that can be shops, and that can sometimes lead to shops suddenly becoming very, very crowded, overly crowded, very busy, and then the shopping experience is no longer enjoyable because you're just like sardines in a shop, wet sardines, trying to avoid the rain. So I wouldn't say shop as soon as it rains. Like, don't have shops be your first place to go to when it rains. You can obviously come, at sometimes. Currently I'm in Emporium, and because a parade is about to happen, it's not as busy as it would be normally when it rains, because some people still want to watch the parade even though it's raining outside, and you can do that, like I said, if you're ready and if you're happy to get wet, if you've got your poncho, if you've got your hood, then you can do so. So shops can definitely be a good option. Don't let it be your first point of call, especially when it's just after it started raining. Fun fact, by the way, if you're ever in Liberty Arcade, even when it's not raining, then check out this little hidden attraction in Disneyland Paris. Now, it's not a very big one, but it's something to do, and could be quite fun, or a little bit scary depending on how you look at it. So there you go, this is what you see inside. You see the Statue of Liberty, and it's all about the relationship between France and the US, of course. It's why it's called Liberty Arcade. But yeah, fun place to see a little hidden gem of Disneyland Paris. With that being said though, let's head on back out and do some more fun experiences that you can do here in the rain. So I'm just walking in Frontierland, and there's a photo pass person doing a little magic shot at the entrance of it. Literally, when you're facing Big Thunder Mountain, when you come into Frontierland, then you should be able to see it. I think it's a temporary thing for the next few months. It was with Bambi, so I did it because there was no queue, and that's, I guess, another bonus of when it rains. Now, one of the best things you can do for yourself and your family if you are in Disneyland Paris when it's raining, and especially if it's close to lunchtime or dinner time, is to get yourself a spot, a reservation at a sit-down restaurant. So whether it's a buffet restaurant or a table service, just somewhere where you can sit and be for at least an hour or so. It means that you're maximizing your time in that way, because not only are you eating, and it's hopefully nice food, nice atmosphere, nice restaurant, but also you're away from the rain, you're full, you're happy, you're well fed, and then you can enjoy the rest of your journey once hopefully the rain stops a little bit. From my experience, and obviously I am normally a solo traveler, you can often get last minute reservations at some of the restaurants, some of the table service restaurants in Disneyland Paris. One of them that is normally quite easy to get is Agrabah Cafe, so I just checked right now, they have some availability. You can also actually walk up to some restaurants. All the restaurants in Disneyland Paris do accept walk-ups sometimes. It just depends on how busy they are, but you can always try. It's worth trying, but of course if you have that reservation, and like I said, you can often get last minute reservations for at least some of the restaurants in the parks, then it'll be safer than just going there and hoping for the best. But the restaurants that normally do have reservations last minute, Agrippa Cafe is one of them, Silver Spur Steakhouse in Frontierland, and in the other park, Pim Kitchen sometimes gets some last minute availability as well. They actually, again, all of these offer some walk-up possibilities as well. You can of course also go to quick service restaurants, but they can often become extremely crowded because most people will choose to do that. Most people may not have reservations and they're just going to go into a quick service restaurant to eat, trying to maximize their time, meaning that you're going to be waiting a long time to get your food. Even if your mobile order will still be quite busy. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend going into a quick service when it rains unless you just really want to eat food and are hungry. But if you are really wanting to go to a quick service restaurant, then I would suggest the Hyperion, Cafe Hyperion in Discoveryland, because that's quite a big restaurant. It does normally get crowded, but because it's big and it has some TV screens so you can watch some TV, some Mickey shows, things like that, it's a bit more fun. So if you're with your children especially, they'll have something to do rather than just be there to eat. Another fun thing that Disneyland Paris is actually known for are walkthrough attractions. So here we've got Le Passage Enchanté d'Aladin, so Aladdin's Enchanted Passageway. It only takes maybe 5 minutes to go through it, but it's indoors, you're covered. It normally doesn't have a queue because, you know, you're just walking through it. And it's nicely themed. I wouldn't say make a lot of time for this, but if it is raining and you want something to do, then it's not a bad idea to come and have a look. Look, there's Aladdin over there. You got Abu, and you basically go through the story of Aladdin as you're walking through this passageway. And actually it's a lot of fun. I feel like kids especially would enjoy looking through this. Look at this one over here. It's actually really cool with the effect of the genie. I enjoy that. And they're playing some Aladdin music too. Another walkthrough attraction that you can do that will also take about 5 or 10 minutes is Nautilus in Discoveryland. I would recommend that as well. I wouldn't necessarily, again, say go and experience these attractions on regular days when it's not raining. I wouldn't prioritize them. But when it's raining and you just want something to do, Nautilus can be good fun too. By the way, in case you're wondering where I'm standing at the moment, because I am undercover, it's between Adventureland and Fantasyland, which is a nice little walkway and is all covered too. So Disneyland Paris was actually designed with loads of undercover areas because when they built this park, they knew that France's weather, Marne-la-Vallée where we are, can be a little bit hit or miss at times. It can rain, it can snow even in the winter colder months. So they designed it in a way that would be possible to still enjoy it when it's raining, when it's wet. And this place especially, you can literally walk along this again undercover and go from Adventureland more or less up until Frontierland, and it just, again, it saves you a little bit of rain. But I am going to be brave now and go out and venture out into the rain and talk about some of the actual rides that you can still do even when it's raining that are mainly undercover. So actually a lot of the rides here in Disneyland Paris are undercover, apart from your obvious outdoor rides like Dumbo and, you know, Orbitron, that are obviously very much outdoors and you're not covered. The majority of them are indoors, so one that I would definitely recommend is Pirates, that we just walked past over there, Pirates of the Caribbean. Even the queue line for the most part is indoors, and it's quite a long queue line as well, so it's very rare for you to have to wait outside unless it's just very busy, and normally it wouldn't be busy when it's raining. Peter Pan, unfortunately, is actually one that I wouldn't recommend because whilst the actual attraction is indoors, the majority of the queue for the time being is outdoors, so you can see loads of people are currently waiting outside, and it's also one that normally has long queues even when it does rain, so I wouldn't recommend that. Another ride I'd highly recommend when it's raining, it's one of my favourite rides in Disneyland Paris anyway, is of course It's a Small World in Fantasyland. It's not only undercover, but it's also quite a long attraction, so you'll be in there for about 15-20 minutes, which is nice, and the attraction is a really good one. Currently the wait time for it is 5 minutes, and you can actually see behind me loads of people are heading that way, and I would do so as well if I wasn't in this video. But let's carry on. Well, I've come to Discoveryland now because there are definitely some rides that you can do here as well. My number one would be Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast, which is one of the first attractions that you see on your left when you enter Discoveryland. I just walked past it and it currently has a queue of 30 minutes, which isn't too bad, and again the majority of the queue is actually covered, so you don't have to worry about getting wet, and it's a really fun ride as well, also quite long, so I would definitely recommend that. You've also got Star Tours. Star Tours generally has a very low waiting time anyway, but when it's raining it's just nice because again it's quite a long ride compared to some of the shorter rides, so nice to do and you're undercover. But possibly my favourite thing to do here in Discoveryland is actually not a ride but some kind of show, a 3D, 4D show called Philharm Magic, which is currently where I'm standing. The queue is there behind me. Philharm Magic is, like I said, an indoor attraction. You go into the Discoveryland Theatre, you get to see characters like Mickey, Donald and all his friends going through different Disney movies, and it's all a 4D experience. It's really fun. It's not an attraction unique to Disneyland Paris. They also have this in Walt Disney World and California. I think they also had it in Tokyo Disney when I visited, but it's so much fun. It's classic Disney. You get to sit down, watch an amazing show. It's 4D as well, so it's a fun experience and you're completely covered. You're in a theatre, indoor theatre. And speaking of that, there are also other shows that are available in Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris is known for its entertainment, so whilst this is not necessarily live theatre, this is, like I said, 4D film that you get to watch. You can also experience some live theatre for free if you're coming to Disneyland Paris, and they're all undercover as well, the theatres are. So in this park, in Disneyland Park, we've of course got the Lion King show, Rhythms of Pride Land, which is in Frontierland, and you can definitely go and check that out if you want to. It's about half an hour long, so the experience altogether will probably take you about 40 minutes, but I would always recommend getting there early just to make sure that you get a spot, because people do start queuing early for it. But yeah, that's a great show, and it just means that you get to be indoors for half an hour and then experience a fantastic show. It's almost Broadway standard, I would say. Very, very good. Some of the best entertainment and shows in Disneyland Paris though are located in Walt Disney Studios, so the second park, which is where we're heading right now. In this park you can find shows such as Mickey and the Magician, which is a classic at this point. It's been around for quite some time, and it's one of the best Disney shows I've seen in any Disney park worldwide. You've of course also got the new Together show, which is fantastic. If you're a Pixar fan, then definitely worth catching. It's so much fun, and you get to see a lot of your favorite Pixar characters: Woody, Buzz, there's Nemo there, Coco. There's just a lot of fun to be had at Together, and it's one of a kind actually. There's a live orchestra playing in there as well. It's so cool. Of course, you've also got Frozen, a musical invitation in this park, which is a lot of fun, especially if you have a Frozen lover in your family. You get to see Anna, Elsa and Sven, and also Kristoff on stage. You get to sing along with them, and it's a lot of fun. That's like an animation celebration, so check it out. Very popular show. I definitely recommend getting there early. You've also got Stitch Live, which is not exactly live entertainment, but it's kind of like screen work again. It's really fun. It's all indoors again. You get to talk to Stitch, and it can be a lot of fun. It's different every time you go, so that's also something that I would recommend doing if it's raining. But right next to it, we've got Disney Junior Dream Factory, which is an excellent show. Well, I thought, seeing as it's been a couple of years since I last saw this show, I might as well treat myself, so I'm currently waiting to go inside and watch the Dream Factory Disney Junior show. I'm actually really looking forward to it, and of course you're coming with me. I'll show you some of what's going on, and it's going on hiatus next month for just a month. It's very normal, so I won't get a chance to see it for a while, but there you go. I'm excited to be in the warmth for like half an hour, and undercover too, because the rain has definitely gotten heavier. And there you go, we are heading in. Very wet everywhere, including the floors. We're going that way. Welcome to Dream Factory. It's nice to be indoors, it really is. And we are heading into the auditorium. I absolutely love the set design for this show. It's so cool. It's not the biggest of theatres, so on a normal day I would definitely recommend getting here early, but I only got here about 10 minutes before showtime, and there was still some space, so that's definitely a bonus. We've got a seat here by the aisle. I'm actually going to take my hood off for a little bit, give my head some breathing space. I'm not sure, my hair is an absolute mess, but show should be starting in the next 5 or so minutes, so I'll see you after.
C'est quoi ton rêve, ton plus grand souhait?
What do you wish for more than anything?
Besoin d'un coup de main?
Oh, Mickey and Minnie.
Uh-oh! Look at the Dreamometer, Mickey!
Pour que la fabrique des rêves puisse fonctionner, tout le monde doit rêver.
Follow your dream. Wherever it goes, it always works out. I'm not just a girl here, no, I'm a mademoiselle. That's why j'adore Paris.
Tu m'arrives de Transylvanie, de m'inspecter de merveilleux façons.
Je suis
Well, that was a fun show, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that actually, and I would recommend it, even if it's not raining, if you want to just have a nice sit down for half an hour or so and see a beautiful, really fun show. And it's not for kids only, like adults enjoy it. There's bubbles, there's characters, Mickey, Minnie, Timon is there, Fancy Nancy is there as well, Vampirina, so quite a lot of like, you know, Disney Junior characters, obviously, because it is Disney Junior's Dream Factory, but a lot of adults actually go on their own too. I spotted so many of them, and oftentimes you see them enjoy it even more than the kids, so don't think it's just for children. I used to think that because it's Disney Juniors, it might not be my thing, but it's really fun. It's definitely worth watching at least once. Now, it is starting to get dark actually, and it's still raining. Today has just been a day of rain, and you may have days like this as well when you visit, so it's good to be prepared for sure. I've honestly had a good time, like even just watching that show alone so far today has made me happy, but it's still also a little bit cold. But in terms of rides that I think you can do in this park, there's not a lot. I mean, Tower of Terror would be my choice if you like your thrill rides. Tower of Terror's queue line for the most part is indoors, and of course, you know, the actual attraction is indoors as well, so it's one that even when it rains normally still operates, because some of the outdoor rides sometimes can be a little bit affected by heavy rain or winds. Another one that can be fun to do whether it's raining or not is Spider-Man's Web Adventure in Avengers Campus. Currently got a 25-minute wait, and again the majority of it is indoors. It's quite a long attraction as well, really fun, especially if you're competitive. Cars Road Trip as well I would recommend, because it's indoors. The queue line is also indoors. And Crush's Coaster, look, it's only at a 50-minute right now, which actually is really good for Crush's Coaster, and that's mainly an indoor roller coaster. The one thing I haven't talked about yet in this video are character meets, because character meets are some of the best experiences that you can have in any Disney park, and especially in Disneyland Paris. I love meeting characters. Now, for the most part, the character meets in Disneyland Paris are located outside, at least the queues are, so when you meet them, if it's raining, they will have some kind of cover, temporary cover to, you know, protect the characters especially, and of course the guests as well. But there are a few characters that actually have locations indoors, which can be a lot of fun to meet, especially again when it's raining. So one of them I'm actually at right now is in Animation Celebration in Walt Disney Studios Park, and it's where you can meet Olaf from Frozen. It's right next to where the Frozen show is, and Olaf normally meets from morning time until around afternoon time, maybe like 3 or 4 p.m. It's always worth checking on the app. His meet and greet location is just over there. Currently he's not out because I'm filming this at around 6 p.m. But that's definitely worth doing, especially when it's raining, and Olaf's a fun character who gives lovely warm hugs. In the other park, in Disneyland Park, the main park, you can meet Mickey himself in his theatre. It's located in Fantasyland, and normally he does have quite a long queue. I would say at least 40 minutes is the norm. Sometimes it can get obviously a lot longer, but it's quite a fun queue line, even, you know, if you're waiting a long time. Number one, you're indoors, which is a bonus if it's raining, but also they've got some screens with some, you know, Mickey shorts happening as well, so it's entertaining for the kids, even if you do have to wait, and then you get to meet Mickey in a very nice indoor location, so that can be worth doing as well. And even if it's a long wait, at least you're covered from the rain. Also, the Princess Pavilion, which is an extremely popular attraction in Disneyland Paris, that is also located indoors. Similar concept to the Meet Mickey attraction, except you get to meet a princess. Now, you don't know which of them you're going to meet. It's a surprise on the day, so it could be any of the classic princesses. Sometimes you get modern ones like Rapunzel and Tiana as well. It's a lot of fun, but it's very popular, so normally the wait time for that attraction can be extremely long. But if it's something that you've wanted to do for a long time, if you've got little ones who want to meet a princess and you don't want to be outside in the rain, then it could be something to save for when it gets rainy, because again the majority of the queue line is indoors, and it's quite a pretty location too. Now, one last free activity that you can do in Walt Disney Studios Park if it's raining and it's indoors is this. It's called Animation Academy. It's right next to where you can meet Olaf, and at the moment again it's closed because these activities normally tend to happen from morning to early afternoon, and like I said, I'm currently filming this at 6 p.m. But what happens here is that when it is open, then you will have a live animator, Disney animator, over there showing you how to draw a fun Disney character. So it could be Mickey, it could be Timon, it could be so many different characters. When Wish first came out, you got to learn how to draw Star from the movie Wish, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, fun free activity in Disneyland Paris, and fun for adults and children alike, and it takes up quite a bit of time as well. I would say give yourself about half an hour at least, and if you really want to do this again, get here early, at least maybe 10-15 minutes before a session is about to start. They'll have multiple sessions throughout the day, and it'll be different characters every time, but it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the fact that they have this, especially for rainy days like today. But I'm gonna head back out now, and of course it is still raining, but we have more or less come to the end of things to do when it rains at Disneyland Paris. The last thing I want to really mention is evening time. So when it does get to nighttime park closure time, especially in the other park when they have the fireworks and the drone show, and be prepared that the drones may not happen either when it's windy and raining. So just you know, avoid disappointment. It's still nice even without the drones. But yeah, if you decide that you don't want to actually stay in the parks for the fireworks show, if you don't want to be in the rain waiting for the nighttime show to happen, then there are still things that you can do even when the park's about to close. So I would suggest going to any of the hotels that are open for guests. They have some beautiful lounges that offer some really nice snacks and drinks alike. You can even get yourself a hot chocolate if you wish to, and they're very nicely themed and cozy, so I would do that. Sequoia Lodge's lounge is lovely. It's probably one of my favorites because it's so nice and warm and cozy. In the winter months they have a fireplace as well, good snacks as well, like I said, nice drinks. And then Hotel New York, the Skyline Bar is a good one as well, really fun location. But yeah, all the hotels have really nice lounges, so if that's kind of your vibe and it's raining and if you don't want to be outdoors waiting for the fireworks show, then there's still somewhere for you to go. You don't have to just go straight to your own hotel. But without further ado, I am gonna slowly but surely make my way out of the park. It's about 6:30 p.m. and this Studio One building as well is actually a good location to go to when it's raining because it's covered. It's very similar to the arcades in the main park, and you can see loads of people obviously heading inside. It's where you would be walking through when entering the park and also when you're leaving. It's a shame that unfortunately it will be going under renovation very soon, but for now we're making the most of it. And just before leaving Walt Disney Studios, going through Studio One, I decided to stop by Hepcat Corner and get myself a hot chocolate, which still has the 30th anniversary logo on the cup. I feel like I need one, and it's always a good time getting hot chocolate. It's one of my favorite snacks to get because it's not necessarily a snack, it's more of a drink, but I really enjoy the hot chocolates that they offer here in Disneyland Paris, and especially when it's cold outside and wet and raining. It's extra nice because it can also help you keep your hands warm, and the taste is lovely as well. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative, and hopefully it will give you some tips as to how you can spend your day in Disneyland Paris next time you're here and it ends up raining. But it's so nice. But thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. If you want to see more videos, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, and also put the notification bell on as well because it then informs you. But I post on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, also sometimes bonus videos on Saturdays, so you can expect at least 3 videos every single week on my channel, and follow me on Instagram too if you want to. But without further ado, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for spending this very rainy day with me in the Disneyland parks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!